Jurgen Klopp takes his side to the lane. Jose Mourinho will look for his third straight win as United boss against Hull. Borough will look for their second away win on the bounce at the Hawthorns, and West Ham will look to cause an upset at the Etihad for the second season running. Also, Matt and I go head-to-head with an accumulator each for the weekend's live matches. Liverpool travel to White Hart Lane on Saturday lunchtime, a ground where they haven't even conceded in each of their last 3 visits. Will we see more of the same this time round, Matt, or will Spurs earn their first win over the Reds since 2012?
Yeah, it's a tough one to call this one. Obviously, Liverpool had a poor away game against Burnley.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've already won in North London, haven't they? Of course, they beat Arsenal, although it ended 3-4, didn't it? But quite comfortable in the grand scheme of things because they led 4-1 at one point.
The only thing with that is that they conceded far too many goals, and is it really that comfortable? Because they were hanging on for the last 10 minutes of that game against Arsenal. And
I suppose it was a weakened Arsenal side as well, wasn't it? So, I mean, but, you know, a good result nonetheless, and if that Liverpool side turns up, then they might be confident of getting all 3 points on Saturday.
They tend to turn up against the big teams. They've shown last season they beat Chelsea away, beat Man City. So they've definitely got it in them to put in a performance that'll just blow their opponent away.
That's it. I mean, fresh off the back of a 5-0 cup win in midweek, that was expected of them though, really.
Those doesn't really matter too much, does it?
Exactly, yeah. And it was a second string side anyway. But yeah, that Burnley result was really disappointing, especially going on after the Arsenal one. It was just a few days after that. So they'll be disappointed with that. What about Spurs? As a Spurs fan yourself, how have they started the season?
Well, away draw against Everton. Obviously, they're a better side now under Koeman. They're not going to concede anywhere near as many goals as they did under Martinez.
No.
Beat Palace 1-0 at home.
That could have been more though, couldn't it?
Yeah, Jans had a few chances. Kane as well. Yeah, it was 3 points, first 3 points of the season, so you can't really complain too much. But it was a good performance. Right.
And in terms of head-to-heads, Liverpool have done well at the Lane in the last few seasons, as I mentioned in the intro. They drew 1-1 when they met back in April at Anfield, and to be honest, that scoreline, I could see something similar happening on Saturday. The draw with both teams to score, that's probably my pick for the game, which you can back at 7-2 with Bet Victor. What do you think you're going to go for?
I think I'm going to go for the Spurs win here.
Right.
I just feel like the ascendancies with Spurs, I think they're going to have a good season. I'm going to say that as a fan. But if Emre Can's missing for Liverpool, then I think Liverpool can be got out. But if he's fit in time for the game, then it could change things a bit. But I'm going to go for Spurs win, 11-8 at Bet365.
Hull beat champions Leicester at the KC on the opening day. Can they follow it up with what would be an equally, if not more impressive home win over Man United on Saturday evening, Matt?
Probably not. I think United have looked really good in the first 2 games. Obviously, Hull have done really well to win their first 2, but that's going to affect them in the long run because they only used like 12 or 13 players.
That's it, yeah.
And they haven't really signed anyone to add to the squad, I think.
And they still haven't even got a permanent manager, have they?
I think, no, but I think Mike Phelan's going to get it.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he?
I think it sounds like he's going to get the job. They're only the second promoted side in PL history to even win their opening 2 games. So can you name the other one?
The second promoted side in history to win their opening 2 games. Don't think, not off the top of my head, certainly.
Sam Allardyce's Bolton Wanderers won their first 2 when they first got promoted to the Premier League. So,
really? And what year was that, do you know?
2003, I
guess. Something like that,
yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. So, decent start from Hull, but to be honest, I think Man United have probably been the most impressive team so far. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Over both matches.
Because Man City were poor in the first game, weren't
exactly,
they?
Yeah.
So I'd go for Man United as well, yeah.
And even in that Stoke game for City, I mean, it finished 4-1, but they ran away with it at the end, didn't they? It was a closer game up until that point.
It was.
So, yeah, Hull will be happy with the start they've made, but it's realistic that United are going to take all 3 points. I mean, they blew away Bournemouth, didn't they, on the opening game? Could have been more. Zlatan
really impressive
scored
against Southampton as well. Like they bossed the game.
They were, weren't they?
Yeah,
Could have been
really
more there. Pogba looked good, didn't he? Zlatan scored twice. Obviously, he's now on 3 goals in 2 Premier League matches. It's going really well for them. So, go on then. Tell us your pick for the game.
I like, obviously, Man United, I think they're going to win. I actually like the win to 0 in this one for Man United. I think even though Hull have scored in both their games so far, I think Man United would prove a tougher test in this game. So I like the Man United to win to 0.
Okay, yeah, similar. Only I've gone for. I agree with you in the Man United win. Only I think Hull could score.
Right.
Purely because if United can concede their vitality against Bournemouth, and Hull have made a great start, they've still got Abel Hernandez, although he's been linked away. I think they can. They've got a goal in them. The BTTS and away is 3-1 at Betfair. Borough got their first Premier League win since April 2009, last time out against Sunderland. Can they record back-to-back Premier League wins for the first time since May 2008 on Super Sunday? Matt.
A good start.
Yeah.
I think Borough can knit this one, actually. I think West Brom haven't looked good so far. Obviously, they beat Palace away, but who doesn't beat Palace? Like, Palace probably one of the worst teams in the league at the moment.
True.
Well, compared to the whole year, 2016.
2016's been awful.
I think they've only won like two games.
Something like that, yeah.
So,
and up down there with Watford, really.
Yeah.
Watford had a poor 2016
Borough
as well.
just aren't used to losing. They're unbeaten in the last 12 games, spanning the Championship and Premier League.
Of course,
they last lost away in March, and that was against Charlton Athletic.
Charlton, wasn't it? Yeah.
So, yeah, I like the look of Borough here. What do you think? What are you going for in this game?
Well, I agree with you in the sense that West Brom have looked very poor so far. I mean, they won against Palace. Doesn't really mean a lot. They led against Everton last time out. Everton managed to turn it around and win.
Their home form is it's pretty poor, isn't it? They haven't won. They've gone 5 games at home without a win.
Right.
And that's the first time since like December 2014.
Right.
So it's pretty poor for the Baggies, I think.
Yeah, it's not great. And of course, confidence will be low. They were knocked out the League Cup on Tuesday night by
Northampton.
I was about to say Rotherham. No, it was Northampton.
Yeah.
So that, and as well, I don't know the starting lineup for that game, but it went all the way to penalties, didn't it? So tiredness might creep in or something.
There's included some players that are probably going to come in for the Borough game. So yeah, I'd probably agree with you there.
Yeah. So all this is pointing towards Borough to get something. I'm not sure if they'll win the game, but I'm confident they'll get something there. They really impressed me last week. They've done some good business, haven't they? They've showed intent to stay up, unlike, well, Hull, for example, Burnley. Yeah, they've made some really good additions. Not quite brave enough to back the away win here, but I'll go with the double chance, so it covers the draw as well. That's 8-15 at Bet365, so decent price.
Yeah, I'll go for exactly the same. I've got the double chance. I think they've got a chance to maybe nick it, but draw could be likely.
On a ground where, against the odds, West Ham won all 3 points last season, can the Hammers once again dampen the early season mood at the Etihad?
Not this time.
No?
No, I don't think. There's lacking someone up front. Like last year, they had everything going from. They had Lanzini fit, Payet was fit. This time,
Saka and Valencia were playing quite well,
and
weren't they?
Saka's basically at the door now.
Yeah.
Valencia is not a proven goal scorer for me.
True, and he's been linked with a move to Newcastle and Villa in the last few days, so he could be off as well.
And I'm not even sure Payet would be fit for this game. Lanzini's still going to be out. Carroll's out, shock again for another 6 weeks. So,
but hey, Sunderland nearly did it.
True,
and Sunderland are one of the worst teams in the division, really.
Yeah, true.
They came how many minutes away from nicking a draw?
5 minutes, I think, it's getting a draw.
Yeah, and then they conceded an own goal, so unfortunate for them. City were disappointing. Better against Stoke, weren't they, last week? But we said in the other episode that although they won 4-1, great on paper, it was pretty close towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, to the last
scored 2 late
10,
goals.
15 minutes, I think. Obviously, when City's got the third goal, it was game over.
It was game over, wasn't it?
Stoke couldn't really do anything, and they tried to push forward. City just countered them, broke them apart.
That's it.
That was
Nolito
it.
got
They could have
couple,
ended up with
they?
5, to be fair, because I think Sterling missed a good chance. So
yeah, but a positive result nonetheless.
Yeah.
West Ham, again, they were unfortunate in the last few minutes of the game against Chelsea in their only other away match of the season. But then they won
home to Bournemouth, and that was the last 10 minutes? Or
that was the 85th minute.
Yeah,
so there you go. So conceding a late goal
favour.
1 week, exactly, you never know.
Yeah.
Of course, we're speaking ahead of their Europa League game tonight, and although to some it might seem like pretty unimportant, I've seen somewhere that Bilic has said that with the new stadium and the club going forward,
they have to play their
progression in this competition.
Because obviously I know West Ham got the away goal, but if Astra score in the first 10 minutes, pressure's on West Ham and they've got to come out. So they've got to come out.
And of course they knocked him out last season, didn't they?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, he's pretty much said as well that their progression in this competition will sort of give an indicator of what transfer business they're going to do in the remainder of the window.
Yeah.
So
they've been linked to Wilfred Bonny, hasn't he? They've gone from wanting like Lacazette, Batshuayi to maybe Bonny.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad signing.
He's still a good player, but he's not someone that they've obviously looked at throughout the summer because they would have identified him first, wouldn't they? When
of course, yeah.
Guardiola coming to Man City, I'm pretty sure he didn't want Bonny in the first place.
It's like a last resort, isn't it, for West Ham? I mean,
and it's going to be a loan signing as well, so it's not like they're literally committed to it now.
What I've seen as well is a loan signing till January. It's not even the full season. Wow. Yeah, so
they're probably hoping that Carroll will be back by then, but then he'll probably get another injury, and it's just like a vicious circle, isn't it?
Yeah, so they could be in for a long season compared to last year. Who knows? What are you thinking for this game specifically?
Well, West Ham have only won one of the last 8 away games. They've they've kept 1 clean sheet in the last 11 league games. So the stats pointing to a City win.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, even though they're short on firepower, I think they will. Man City will concede a goal to West Ham.
Right.
So I think the Man City and BTTS takes my pick here. That's 17-10.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there because, you know, if West Ham can go to Stamford Bridge under Conte as well, Chelsea, and score, fair play to them. And if Man City are conceding against Sunderland, you know, there's a weakness there, isn't there? So I think I'd agree with you there. What odds did you say you got out?
17-10.
17-10, yeah. I'd agree with you there completely. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Just before we leave you, Matt and I are just going to run through our accumulator bets for the weekend for the live televised game. So Matt, can you just run us through your selections?
Yeah, I'm going to go for, my ACCA's 20-1 this weekend. It's going to be Spurs to win, Man United to win to 0, Borough draw double chance, and Man City BTTS. That's 20-1 at Sky Bet.
Okay. I've gone for considerably less odds than that. Here you go. I'll run through mine. I've gone for West Ham +3 handicap at the Etihad, under 2.5 at the Hawthorns between West Brom and Middlesbrough, Zlatan to score any time for Man United at the KC, and both teams to score at the Lane in the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. You can back that. £10 would get you just under 74 quid at Bet365. So we'll let you know how we get on. We'll remind you how we get on next week. I'll just run you through the games for the next episode as well. Join us on the 10th week commencing the 10th of September for the Manchester Derby, Liverpool versus Leicester, Swansea versus Chelsea, and Sunderland versus Everton. Thanks, guys.
Download the Football Coupon app on iPhone and Android for best odds, bet tracking, live Opta data, and score forecasts. For more information, check out footballcoupon.co.uk.